Al-Quran, Chapter 16, Surat Nahl, the bees. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The commandment, the hour, or the punishment of disbelievers and polytheists, or the Islamic laws or commandments, ordained by Allah, will come to pass, so seek not to hasten it. Glorified and exalted is He above all that they associate as partners with Him. He sends down the angels with the Ruh, revelation, of His command to whom of His slaves He wills, saying, warn mankind that La ilaha illa anna, none has a right to be worshipped but I. So fear me by abstaining from sins and evil deeds. He has created the heavens and the earth with truth. High is He, exalted above all that they associate as partners with Him. He has created man from nutfah, mixed drops of male and female sexual discharge. Then behold, this same man becomes an open opponent. And the cattle, He has created them for you. In them there is warmth, warm clothing, and numerous benefits, and of them you eat. And therein is beauty for you, when you bring them home in the evening, and as you lead them forth to pasture in the morning. And they carry your loads to a land that you could not reach except with great trouble to yourselves. Truly your Lord is full of kindness, most merciful. And He has created horses, mules, and donkeys for you to ride and as an adornment. And He creates other things of which you have no knowledge. And upon Allah is the responsibility to explain the straight path. But there are ways that turn aside, such as paganism, Judaism, and Christianity. And had He willed, He would have guided you all, mankind. He it is who sends down water from the sky. From it you drink, and from it grows the vegetation on which you send your cattle to pasture. With it He causes to grow for you the crops, the olives, the date palms, the grapes, and every kind of fruit. Verily, and this is indeed an evident proof and a manifest sign for people who give thought. And He has subjected to you the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, and the stars are subjected by His command. Surely in these are proofs for people who understand. And whatsoever He has created for you on the earth of varying colors and qualities from vegetation and fruits, botanical life, and from animals, zoological life, verily, in this is a sign for a people who remember. And He it is who has subjected the sea to you, that you eat thereof fresh tender meat, fish, and that you bring forth out of it ornaments to wear. And you see the ships ploughing through it, that you may seek thus of His bounty, by transporting the goods from place to place, and that you may be grateful. And He has affixed into the earth mountains, standing firm, lest it should shake with you, and rivers and roads, that you may guide yourselves, and landmarks, signposts during the day, and by stars during the night. They, mankind, guide themselves. Is then He who creates as one who creates not? Will you not then remember? And if you would count the favors of Allah, never could you be able to count them. Truly, Allah is oft forgiven, most merciful. And Allah knows what you conceal and what you reveal. Those whom they, al-mushrikun, invoke besides Allah have not created anything, but are themselves created. They are dead, not alive, and they know not when they will be raised up. Your ilah God, is one Allah, God. But for those who believe not in the hereafter, their hearts deny the faith in the oneness of Allah, and they are proud. Certainly, Allah knows what they conceal and what they reveal. Truly, He likes not the proud. And when it is said to them, "What is it that your Lord has sent down?" they say, "Tales of the men of old." They will bear their own burdens in full on the day of the resurrection, and also of the burdens of those whom they misled without knowledge. Evil indeed is that which they shall bear. Those before them indeed plotted, but Allah struck at the foundation of their building, and then the roof fell down upon them from above them, and the torment overtook them from directions they did not perceive. Then, on the day of resurrection, He will disgrace them and will say, "Where are my so-called partners concerning whom you used to disagree and dispute with the believers by defying and disobeying Allah?" Those who have been given the knowledge about the torment of Allah for the disbelievers will say, "Verily, disgrace and misery this day are upon the disbelievers." Those whose lives the angels take while they are doing wrong to themselves, by disbelieving and by associating partners in worship with Allah, and by committing all kinds of crimes and evil deeds, then they will make false submission, saying, "We used not to do any evil." The angels will reply, "Yes, truly, Allah is all-knower of what you used to do. So enter the gates of hell, to abide therein forever. And indeed, what an evil abode will be for the arrogant." And when it is said to those who are the mutakim, the pious, "What is it that your Lord has sent down?" they say, "That which is good. For those who do good in this world, there is good, and the home of the hereafter will be better. And excellent indeed will be the home, paradise, of the mutakim." Eden, paradise, gardens of eternity, which they will enter, under which rivers flow. They will have therein all that they wish. Thus Allah rewards the mutakim, the pious. Those whose lives the angels take while they are in a pious state, pure from all evil, and worshipping none but Allah alone, saying to them, "Salaam alaikum, peace be on you, enter you paradise, because of that which you used to do in the world." Do they, the disbelievers and polytheists, await but that the angels should come to them to take away their souls at death, or there should come the command of your Lord? Thus did those before them, and Allah wronged them not, but they used to wrong themselves. Then the evil results of their deeds overtook them, and that which they used to mock at surrounded them. And those who joined others in worship with Allah said, "If Allah had so willed, neither we nor our fathers would have worshipped aught but Him, nor would we have forbidden anything without Him. So did those before them." Then are the messengers charged with anything but to convey clearly the message? And verily, we have sent among every ummah, community, nation, a messenger, proclaiming, "Worship Allah alone, and avoid, or keep away from, Taghut, all false deities. Do not worship Taghut besides Allah." Then of them were some who Allah guided, and of them were some upon whom the straying was justified. So travel through the land and see what was the end of those who denied the truth. If you, O Muhammad, covet for their guidance, Verily Allah guides not those whom He makes to go astray, or none can guide him whom Allah sends astray, and they will have no helpers. And they swear by Allah their strongest oaths that Allah will not raise up him who dies. Yes, He will raise them up, a promise binding upon him in truth, but most of mankind know not, in order that He may make manifest to them the truth of that wherein they differ, and that those who disbelieved in resurrection and in the oneness of Allah may know that they were liars. Verily, our word, command, to a thing when we tend it, is only that we say to it, Be, and it is. And as for those who emigrated for the cause of Allah, after they had been wronged, we will certainly give them goodly residence in this world, but indeed the reward of the hereafter will be greater, if they but knew. They are those who remained patient in this world for Allah's sake, and put their trust in their Lord. And we sent not as our messengers before you, O Muhammad ﷺ, any but men whom we sent revelation to preach and invite mankind to believe in the oneness of Allah. So ask you, O pagans of Mecca, so ask of those who know the scripture, learned men of the Torah and the gospel, if you know not. With clear signs and books we sent the messengers, and we have also sent down to you, O Muhammad ﷺ, the dhikr, reminder, and the advice, the Quran, that you may explain clearly to men what is sent down to them, and that they may give thought. Do then those who devise evil plots feel secure that Allah will not sink them into the earth, or that the torment will not seize them from directions they perceive not, or that He may catch them in the midst of their going to and fro in their jobs, so that there will be no escape for them from Allah's punishment, or that He may catch them with gradual wasting of their wealth and health? Truly, your Lord is indeed full of kindness, most merciful. Have they not observed things that Allah has created, how their shadows incline to the right and to the left, making prostration to Allah, and they are lowly? And to Allah prostrate all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth, of the moving creatures and the angels, and they are not proud. They worship their Lord Allah with humility. They fear their Lord above them, and they do what they are commanded. And Allah said, O mankind, take not ilahain, two gods in worship. Verily, He, Allah, is the only one Allah, God. Then fear me much, and me alone. Be away from all kinds of sins and evil deeds that Allah has forbidden, and do all that Allah has ordained, and worship none but Allah. To Him belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth, and Adin Wasiba is His. Perpetual sincere obedience to Allah is obligatory. None has the right to be worshipped but Allah. Will you then fear any other than Allah? And whatever of blessings and good things you have, it is from Allah. Then, when harm touches you, to Him you cry aloud for help. Then, when He has removed the harm from you, behold, some of you associate others in worship with their Lord. So, as a result of that, they deny with ungratefulness that Allah's favors which we have bestowed on them. Then enjoy yourselves your short stay, but you will come to know with regrets. And they assign a portion of that which we have provided them to what they know not, false deities. By Allah, you shall certainly be questioned about all that you used to fabricate. And they assign daughters to Allah. Glorified and exalted is He, above all that they associate with Him, and to themselves what they desire. And when the news of the birth of a female child is brought to any of them, his face becomes dark and he is filled with inward grief. He hides himself from the people because of the evil of that whereof he has been informed. Shall he keep her with dishonor, or bury her in the earth? Certainly, evil is their decision. For those who believe not in the hereafter is an evil description, and for Allah is the highest description. And He is the Almighty, the All-Wise. And if Allah were to seize mankind for their wrongdoing, He would not leave on it a single moving living creature, but He postpones them for an appointed term, and when their term comes, neither can they delay, nor can they advance it an hour or a moment. They assign to Allah that which they dislike for themselves, and their tongues assert the falsehood that the better things will be theirs. No doubt for them is the fire, and they will be the first to be hastened on into it, and left there neglected. By Allah, we indeed sent messengers to the nations before you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Satan, made their deeds fairer seeming to them. So he, Satan, is their wholly helper, is their wholly today in this world, and theirs will be of painful torment. And we have not sent down the book, the Quran, to you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, except that you may explain clearly to them those things in which they differ, and as guidance and mercy for a folk who believe. And Allah sends down water, rain, from the sky. Then He revives the earth therewith after its death. Verily, in this is a sign for a people who listen. And verily, in the kettle there is a lesson for you. We give you to drink of that which is in their bellies, from between excretions and blood, pure milk, palatable to the drinkers. And from the fruits of date palms and grapes you derive strong drink and a goodly provision. Verily, therein is indeed a sign for a people who have wisdom. And your Lord inspired the bees, saying, Take your habitations in the mountains, and in the trees, and in what they erect. Then eat of all fruits, and follow the ways of your Lord made easy for you. There comes forth from their bellies a drink of varying colors, wherein is healing for men. Verily, in this is indeed a sign for a people who think. And Allah has created you, and then He will cause you to die. And of you there are some who are sent back to senility, so that they know nothing after having known much. Truly, Allah is all-knower, all-powerful. And Allah has preferred some of you to others in wealth and properties. Then those who are preferred will by no means hand over their wealth and properties to those slaves whom their right hands possess, so that they may be equal with them in respect thereof. Do they then deny the favor of Allah? And Allah has made for you azwaj, mates or wives, of your own kind, and has made for you from your wives sons and grandsons, and has bestowed on you good provision. Do they then believe in false deities and deny the favor of Allah by not worshipping Allah alone? As they worship others besides Allah, such as do not and cannot own any provision for them from the heavens or the earth. So put not forward similitudes for Allah, as there is nothing similar to him, nor he resembles anything. Truly, Allah knows and you know not. Allah puts forward the example of two men, a believer and a disbeliever. A slave, disbeliever, under the possession of another, he has no power of any sort, and the other, a man, believer, on whom we have bestowed a good provision from us, and he spends thereof secretly and openly. Can they be equal? By no means. All praise and thanks are Allah's. Nay, but most of them know not. And Allah puts forward another example of true men. Two men, one of them dumb, who has no power over anything, disbeliever, and he is a burden on his master. Whichever way he directs him, he brings no good. Is such a man equal to one believer in the Islamic monotheism who commands justice and is himself on a straight path? And to Allah belongs the unseen of the heavens and the earth. And the matter of the hour is not but as a twinkling of the eye, or even nearer. Truly, Allah is able to do all things. And Allah has brought you out from the wombs of your mothers while you know nothing, and He gave you hearing, sight, and hearts, that you might give thanks to Allah. Do they not see the birds hulled flying in the midst of the sky? None holds them but Allah. None gave them the ability to fly but Allah. Verily, in these are clear ayat, proofs and signs, for a people who believe in the oneness of Allah. And Allah has made for you in your homes an abode, and made for you out of the hides of the cattle tents for dwelling, which you find so light and handy when you travel and when you stay in your travels, and of their wool, fur, and hair, sheep wool, camel fur, and goat hair, furnishings and articles of convenience, carpets, blankets, comfort for a while. And Allah has made for you out of that which He has created shades, and has made for you places of refuge in the mountains, and has made for you garments to protect you from the heat and cold, and coats of mail to protect you from your mutual violence. Thus does He perfect His favor to you, that you may submit yourselves to His will in Islam. Then, if they turn away, your duty, O Muhammad ﷺ, is only to convey the message in a clear way. They recognize the grace of Allah, yet they deny it by worshipping others besides Allah. And most of them are disbelievers, deny the prophethood of Muhammad ﷺ. And remember the day when we shall raise up from each nation a witness, their messenger. Then those who disbelieved will not be given leave to put forward excuses, nor will they be allowed to return to the world to repent and ask for Allah's forgiveness of their sins. And when those who did wrong, the disbelievers, will see the torment, then it will not be lightened to them, nor will they be given respite. And when those who associated partners with Allah see their Allah's so-called partners, they will say, Our Lord, these are our partners whom we used to invoke besides you. But they will throw back their word at them and say, Surely you indeed are liars. And they will offer their full submission to Allah on that day, and their invented false deities, all that they used to invoke besides Allah, example, idols, saints, priests, monks, angels, jinn, Jibril, Gabriel, messengers, will vanish from them. Those who disbelieved and hinder men from the path of Allah, for them we will add torment to the torment, because they used to spread corruption by disobeying Allah themselves, as well as ordering others to do so. And remember the day when we shall raise up from every nation a witness against them from amongst themselves, and we shall bring you, O Muhammad, as a witness against these. And we have sent down to you the book, the Quran, as an exposition of everything, guidance, mercy, and glad tidings for those who have submitted themselves to Allah as Muslims. Verily, Allah enjoins al-adl, justice, and worshipping none but Allah alone, and al-ihsan, to be patient in performing your duties to Allah, totally for Allah's sake and in accordance with the Sunnah, legal ways of the Prophet ﷺ, in a perfect manner, and giving help to kith and kin, all that Allah has ordered you to give them, wealth, visiting, looking after them, or any other kind of help, and forbids al-fakhsha, all evil deeds, illegal sexual acts, disobedience of parents, polytheism, to tell lies, to give false witness, to kill a life without right, and al-munkar, all that is prohibited by Islamic law, polytheism of every kind, disbelief, and every kind of evil deeds, and al-baghi, all kinds of oppression. He admonishes you that you may take heed and fulfill the covenant of Allah, bayah, pledge for Islam, when you have covenanted, and break not the oaths after you have confirmed them, and indeed you have appointed Allah your surety. Verily, Allah knows what you do. And be not like her who undoes the thread which she has spun after it has become strong, by taking your oath as a means of deception among yourselves, lest a nation should be more numerous than another nation. Allah only tests you by this. Example, who obeys Allah and fulfills Allah's covenant, and who disobeys Allah and breaks Allah's covenant. And on the day of resurrection, He will certainly make clear to you that wherein you used to differ, believer confesses and believes in the oneness of Allah and in the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, which the disbelievers denies, and that is the difference amongst them in the life of this world. And had Allah willed, He could have made you all one nation, but He sends astray whom He wills and guides whom He wills. But you shall certainly be called to account for what you used to do. And make not your oaths a means of deception among yourselves, lest a foot should slip after being firmly planted, and you may have to taste the evil punishment in this world of having hindered men from the path of Allah. Believe in the oneness of Allah and His Messenger Muhammad ﷺ, and yours will be a great torment, the fire of hell in the hereafter. And purchase not a small gain at the cost of Allah's covenant. Verily, what is with Allah is better for you if you did but knew. Whatever is with you will be exhausted, and whatever is with Allah of good deeds will remain. And those who are patient will certainly pay them a reward in proportion to the best of what they used to do. Whoever works righteousness, whether male or female, while he or she is a true believer of Islamic monotheism, verily to him, to her, we will give a good life in this world with respect, contentment, and lawful provision, and we shall pay them certainly a reward in proportion to the best of what they used to do, paradise in the hereafter. So when you recite the Quran, seek refuge with Allah from Shaitan, the outcast, the cursed one. Verily, he has no power over those who believe and put their trust only in their Lord. His power is only over those who obey and follow him, and those who join partners with him. And when we change a verse, of the Quran in place of another, and Allah knows best what He sends down, they, the disbelievers, say, "You, O Muhammad, are but a muftari, forger, liar." Nay, but most of them know not. Say, O Muhammad, Ruhul Quds, Gabriel, has brought it, the Quran, down from your Lord with truth, that it may make firm and strengthen the faith of those who believe, and as guidance and glad tidings to those who have submitted to Allah as Muslims. And indeed, we know that they, polytheists and pagans, say, it is only a human being who teaches him. The tongue of the man they refer to is foreign, while his, the Quran, is a clear Arabic tongue. Verily, those who believe not in the ayat, proofs, evidence, verses, lessons, signs, revelations, in the ayat of Allah, Allah will not guide them, and theirs will be a painful torment. It is only those who believe not in the ayat of Allah who fabricate falsehood, and it is they who are liars. Whoever disbelieved in Allah after his belief, except him who is forced thereto, and whose heart is at rest with faith, but such as open their breasts to disbelief, on them is wrath from Allah, and theirs will be a great torment. That is because they loved and preferred the life of this world to that of the hereafter. And Allah guides not the people who disbelieve. They are those upon whose hearts, hearing, and sight Allah has set a seal, and they are the heedless. No doubt, in the hereafter they will be the losers. Then, verily, your Lord, for those who immigrated after they had been put to trials and thereafter strove hard and fought for the cause of Allah and were patient, verily, your Lord afterward is oft forgiving, most merciful. Remember the day when every person will come up pleading for himself, and everyone will be paid in full for what he did, good or evil, belief or disbelief in the life of this world, and they will not be dealt with unjustly. And Allah puts forward the example of a township, Mecca, that dwelt secure and well content, its provision coming to it in abundance from every place, but its people denied the favors of Allah with ungratefulness. So Allah made it taste extreme of hunger and fear because of that evil, denying Prophet Muhammad, which they used to do. And verily, there had come to them a messenger, Muhammad, from among themselves, but they denied him, so the torment overtook them while they were zalimun, polytheists, and wrongdoers. So eat of the lawful and good food which Allah has provided for you, and be grateful for the favor of Allah if it is He whom you worship. He has forbidden you only al-maita, meat of a dead animal, blood, the flesh of swine, and any animal which is slaughtered as a sacrifice for others than Allah, or has been slaughtered for idols, or on which Allah's name has not been mentioned while slaughtering. But if one is forced by necessity, without willful disobedience, and not transgressing, then Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. And say not concerning that which your tongues put forth falsely, this is lawful and this is forbidden, so as to invent lies against Allah. Verily, those who invent lies against Allah will never prosper. A passing brief enjoyment will be theirs, but they will have painful torment. And to those who are Jews, we have forbidden such things as we have mentioned to you, O Muhammad, before, and we wrong them not, but they used to wrong themselves. Then, verily, your Lord, for those who do evil, commit sins, and are disobedient to Allah, in ignorance, and afterward repent and do righteous deeds, verily, your Lord thereafter is oft forgiving, most merciful. Verily, Ibrahim Abraham, was an ummah, a leader having all the good righteous qualities or nation, obedient to Allah, Hanif, to worship none but Allah, and he was not one of those who were al-mushrikun, polytheists, idolaters, disbelievers in the oneness of Allah, and those who joined partners with Allah. He was thankful for his favors, Allah's favors. He, Allah, chose him as an intimate friend and guided him to a straight path, Islamic monotheism, neither Judaism nor Christianity. And we gave him good in this world, and in the hereafter he shall be of the righteous. Then we have sent the revelation to you, O Muhammad, saying, follow the religion of Abraham, Hanif, to worship none but Allah, and he was not of the mushrikun, idolaters. The Sabbath was only prescribed for those who differed concerning it, and verily your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection about that wherein they used to differ. Invite mankind, O Muhammad, to the way of your Lord, Islam, with wisdom, with the divine revelation and the Quran, and fair preaching, and argue with them in a way that is better. Truly, your Lord knows best who has gone astray from his path, and he is the best knower of those who are guided. And if you punish your enemy of you believers in the oneness of Allah, then punish them with the like of that with which you were afflicted. But if you endure patiently, verily it is better for a sabirun, the patient. And endure you patiently, O Muhammad, your patience is not but from Allah, and grieve not over them, polytheists and pagans, and be not distressed because of what they plot. Truly Allah is with those who fear Him, and those who are muhsinun, good doers.